Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly daily morning show where we bring you the latest everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the drop that has occurred on Bitcoin over the weekend. As you guys know, Bitcoin was attempting a breakout all the way back up to all-time high and beyond, but that breakout has seemingly stalled. Today, we're going to talk about why that has occurred and where Bitcoin might be going next. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, my name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for about the last 7 years, and I am currently getting ready to have a baby that could be coming any week now. So you guys will have to forgive me for the next few weeks as we are scrambling to make sure that everything is ready. It is really funny how much it takes to prepare for a child, especially when it's your third child and you're only 23. We've been working for about the last 6 months to make sure everything's all good, ready to go. So much to do. It's been a very hard pregnancy for my wife. She's almost just completely bedridden, and so been very busy from that, so be praying for us on that. Baby is supposed to be here August 25th. Will probably be here sometime early August, late July, so getting very close. She's been having a lot of contractions. It seems like, I mean, the baby could be coming any day, which wouldn't be great because we're 29 weeks, so pray for us. I do apologize for the little bit of disruption we might have over the next few weeks, but we are going to be here every single day bringing you high-quality educational and informational content, and I'm super excited to do that right now. So let's do it. Christina Orozco is in chat, said, good morning, friends. Abraham Lee is in chat, said, morning. Called out, said, ayo, what's up? Crypto Stones in chat, Chasse. Johnny Losada is in chat from Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Who's ever been to Las Vegas? When we went and did the Area 51 raid, because yes, I was actually at that. We toured down the strip. Very beautiful city. Very weird city, but very beautiful city. Al Bundles Crypto Trappa said, good morning, Jeb. Why is Bitcoin trading sideways? Are we still heading to 75K next week? I think there's going to be a big breakout, but of course, this does set us behind a little bit. Darius Villanunas is in chat, said Jesus is king. Amen. Queen's in chat as well. Philly Skills 1428. And everybody else. Larmo, Juan Silva, Alex Nibo, Angelo. Yeah, I know. We're having our third. Awesome. We've got a whole bundle of blessings under one roof. We're going to be a family of 5. Very excited about that. Been a lot of work, but very excited about it. All right. Bitcoin is currently trading at $69,537. It is up 0.18% in the last 24 hours, up 0.65% in the last 7 days. That's because the rally that we began halfway through last week has now concluded, and we dropped back to the downside starting around Friday. A little later on Friday after the stream concluded. We broke below an uptrending level of support, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Ethereum is currently down 2.79% in the last 7 days. It's trading at 36.73, but you'll notice that Ethereum is still much higher than it was several months ago. It has gone into a major uptrend, and it has managed to hold on to quite a lot of those gains. Ethereum did have a major breakout on the rumor that the Ethereum exchange-traded funds would be approved. The rumor happened on Monday. The news happened on Thursday. After the rumor, we went into a major rally. After the news, Ethereum started trading sideways. And of course, we have broken bearish at the current moment. We're going to keep analyzing this because a lot of people are freaking out right now. Oh my goodness, is the crash over? If you're reading the title and you're wondering why I'm making FUD, I'll let you know immediately that that was rhetorical. The crash is not beginning. I don't see Bitcoin going through a major corrective movement. I currently see this movement that is happening in the cryptocurrency space simply as a pause, simply as a refrain. before we rally to the upside. We are simply building greater support here. We are simply building a stronger market structure here than we have had in past rallies. Instead of Bitcoin just moonshotting straight to a new all-time high, where it will stay, where it will keep that all-time high for a multitude of years, similarly to what happened here when we rallied from $10,000 to $65,000 in a month, in less than a half a year. Instead of that, Bitcoin is actually building a more sustainable bull market, which is a good sign that we may be seeing a much longer, more sustained bull market this time than we did last time. Remember, last bull market was actually out of character. Now, most of you probably only know that bull market because most of you have probably not been here for as long as I have. Some of you have been here longer than I have. When the Bitcoin market was founded, the first several years, in the first 2 cycles of Bitcoin's history, went a little something like this. You would have a rally, and that rally may not look large from now, but back then it'd be a 150% rally. You'd see a rally right here, 153%. Then you would trade sideways for 6 months, sometimes 8 or 9. Then you'd have another rally, 80% rally. Then you would trade sideways for many, many months. Then you would have another rally, and you'd rally 100%, and then you'd have a corrective movement where you drop 30%. You see, you would either drop 30 to 40%, or you'd trade sideways for half of a year. That was what happened in the bull market that I got into the space in. You see, the bull market that you join the cryptocurrency space in, it almost colors the kind of way, it almost colors the way you're going to think. And I did not get into crypto during the last bull market, which was a product of a perfect storm of nonsense going on the global stage. The geopolitical stage was fraught with horrible financial choices. Absolutely terrible financial choices. The governments of the world decided to shut down the economy for about a year. And you see, you don't even get to do that as an individual unless you have a lot of savings. The governments don't keep savings. They just take out debt. The government doesn't have an emergency fund. Are you freaking kidding me? No, they don't. And a lot of businesses, unfortunately, didn't, even though they should, because unlike the government, they can't print more money. It's illegal, because only the government's allowed to do that, right? The government shut down the global economy. All the governments of the world. The United States government started and kind of led the pack. The European Union did it as well. China obviously shut down everything and managed to snuff things out. And while I am absolutely grateful that there was less human suffering, it has led to a cataclysmic response in the economy. We saw the GDP of the United States economy drop by over a quarter, by over $7 trillion in less than 90 days. Now rebounded, but we also saw some of the greatest inflation that we've seen since the 80s. And that perfect storm of a shutdown economy, which meant that everybody was at home, combined with the fear that was in the world that the United States dollar was going to end up losing its world reserve currency status, which, newsflash, is not going to happen anytime soon. I know it's not a popular stance in the cryptocurrency space, but I will be right on that. It's not going to lose its world reserve currency status anytime soon. Decades of change would have to pass by before that would happen. Not this decade. For sure, it's not going to lose world reserve currency status. But at the time, people were freaked out about that, and they thought that Bitcoin was going to be the answer. And so you had the fear in that the global financial system was collapsing. You had everybody stuck at home because they weren't allowed to go outside, and so they were extremely lonely, and so they looked for new communities, and guess what they found? They found the cryptocurrency community, and we had an influx of millions of people. The amount of people that I meet in coaching and here on the channel that got into the cryptocurrency space somewhere in this box is astounding. The amount of people that joined during the lockdowns is absolutely insane. It was one of the biggest marketing events in the history of cryptocurrency. Everybody was terrified that the global economy was going to collapse. And they said, well, we need to hedge. And so they bought Bitcoin. And we also had the stimulus checks. We can't forget about that. Perfect storm. And so pretty much the entire bull market happened in 400 days. And most of you that joined during this time are accustomed to the idea that the entire bull market happens in one rally. Because that's what happened. We rallied from $4,000 to $65,000. And then we had like one kind of little final hurrah here. And we rallied to 69, and then the bear market came. That's not typically how bull markets work. The way that bull markets typically work in Bitcoin is that we have a series of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 major cycles. In the first bull market here in 2012, when Bitcoin was actually starting to become established, we had our first rally, followed by half of a year of sideways action. a second rally, followed by another half a year of sideways action, followed by another rally, followed by another year of sideways action. And by the way, this might not look like that big of a crash, but it dropped 80% in a week. And then we had a fourth major rally. There were 4 impulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even more so in the 2016-17 bull market, which is probably the best textbook example of a bull market in Bitcoin that we have, because the market was developed enough that it was mature enough that we can actually consider this to be useful information. This back over here, I mean, Mt. Gox was barely getting founded during this time, guys. This was people buying pizza, and this was people, like, you know, doing stuff on the dark web back then. That's kind of ancient history. That's a little bit like trying to say, oh, this is how geopolitics works, because this is how 2 cavemen fought back in 4000 BC, right? That's not really, it's useful, but it's not that useful. The 2016-17 bull market, there was a combination of global stability, which for the most part we have right now in the global economy, and there was the combination of Bitcoin having slow, sustained growth. We had a first impulse rally, followed by 6 months of sideways. A second impulse rally, followed by 6 months of sideways. A third, then a correction. So this is our third. Instead of trading sideways, we just crashed like 45%. Then our fourth, right here. Then a major crash. Then our fifth, which you can see right here. By this point in the market, I was in the space and I was watching this happen myself. We hit $5,000. We had a 40% drop, and then Bitcoin went on a 6th impulse. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can kind of change how you count this. In this bull market, the best we can say is that we had 1, 2, 3. But realistically, it was really mainly 1, 2. And this rally basically just took us up to a double top, so it was really basically just one big movement. Fast forward to where we are right now. We had 1 impulse movement here, a second impulse movement here. Let me ask you something. Since we've only had 2 movements, and since the 2 bull markets that were not affected by just an absolute black swan event had 4 and 6, and this one only had 1, do you think we're going to have more, or do you think it's over? I'll throw the question back to you. I'd love to see it in the comments. We are clearly in a different geopolitical standpoint right now than we were during the COVID pandemic. The world was collapsing. 100 million people were infected with a terrifying virus. And I don't want to downplay that. It was scary. I remember when we started getting reports out of China, out of Wuhan. I remember I was watching it myself. When the first case showed up in what was it, in Taiwan, or was it Thailand, somewhere, one of the countries that starts with the letter T. I forget. I think it was Taiwan. I think the first case outside of China was in Taiwan, and then we saw it in South Korea, then we saw it in Japan, then we saw it in Italy, then we saw it in Germany, then we saw it in America, and it was freaky. I remember it. It was scary, but here's the deal: we're not in that stance right now. There's not a lot that's freaky in the world's news right now. The thing everybody's focusing on right now is Donald Trump and Biden. Every 4 years we have a presidential election, right? It's kind of the way it goes. So there's not that incredible amount of fear that's driving all of the traffic into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market right now. Instead, it is becoming this slower, sustained movement into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market, as opposed to the all-at-once movement that we saw take place during the previous bull market. And so that's leading to slower and sustained growth. And that's where some people think that this bull market is already over, because they're comparing it to last bull market. But that's a false dichotomy. You can't compare it to last bull market, because last bull market was completely predicated on a once-in-a-generation event called the COVID pandemic. Before the COVID pandemic, it seemed like we were going to go through much of a similar rally that we went through in the last bull markets. We saw our first impulse wave here, followed by 6 months of corrective movement. Bitcoin was in the middle of starting its second impulse wave, and it got cut off at the feet. Right here. You see this? We are in the middle of starting the second impulse wave. We were forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern in CT2A. We show how this was a cup and handle formation right here. We were in the middle of starting the second impulse wave. It would have started earlier. The second impulse wave would have been right here. If not for the COVID-19 pandemic, then the Bitcoin bull market probably in 2019, 2020 probably would have looked something a lot more like this. We very well may have still gone to $70,000, but we wouldn't have had just the all at once. And so the reason that I bring this up, the reason this is important, is because people are thinking, oh my gosh, we already had that. Boom, we're already done. All right, bull market's over. What do we do? Bull market's not over. In the history of Bitcoin's markets, you need sometimes 3 to 6 months of sideways, of correction. We didn't drop very far. We dropped 23%. So we're going to have to make up for that in the time scale. Since we didn't drop too far in the price scale, we're going to make up for that in the time scale. It could take some time before Bitcoin breaks to the next level. Same way down here, we rallied. We nearly doubled, right? This is pretty much what happens during bull markets. We basically just double and then trade sideways. Bitcoin rallied from $15,000 to $30,000. Then we traded sideways for 190 days. And then we saw the next phase of the bull market come in. In this case, we went through our huge rally, pretty much one big rally from September to March. 180-day rally, 200% double. It stands to reason that Bitcoin's going to need some time. We've already done 90 days. We could end up doubling that. We could do 180 days. I kind of hope we do. I'd love to sit here and just chill for a little bit before Bitcoin in the crypto space goes on its next rally. But that next rally is coming, and I don't want you to be worried about it because everything is pointing to it happening. All right, let's read a little bit of chat, and then we will continue moving. Before we do, I want to let you know today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. Make sure to go to nordvpn.com/Jeb and sign up right now because I want to protect you while you browse online. If you sign up for NordVPN, then you are going to be kept invisible from hackers and thieves that are trying to steal from you right now. They are literally out there right now trying to steal from you. So make sure that you sign up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below. Like I said, let's read some chat. Jeb, thoughts on moving some funds into Roth 401k to IBIT ETF? This forces you to hold for the next 35 years, and who knows what Bitcoin will be worth by then. Wesley, my answer to that would be as follows. If you are following the financial sovereignty way, I think that that's a good option. Here's the financial sovereignty way. First, you've got to choose FinSov. Second, you've got to make a commitment to live on less than you make and make that happen as soon as possible. Third, you've got to end up living on a budget. Fourth, I want you to have a starter emergency fund of $2,500. After that, I want you to pay off all of your consumer debt. After that, I want you to save a fully funded emergency fund. After that, I want you to put 15% of your household income into investments for retirement. I want at least 90% of that to be in the United States stock market. At that point, 10% of that could go into cryptocurrency. After that, I want you to work on paying off your house early. After you've done that and you're completely out of debt, then you start putting more money into investments. And that's where you say, all right, cool. I'm maxing out my retirement. I'm putting 5% of my household income, whatever it is, into paying off my house early. Now I want to say 25% of my money, my household income is going into investment. I'm going to put 15% into retirement. Less than 10% of that should be into crypto. 90% should be into the stock market for safety's sake, because we still don't know exactly what's going to happen in the long run. That number may change over time, but for now, I think it should be less than 10%. And then we're going to put, up to 5% in paying off the house early. And then if you want to go even farther, then you say, all right, I'm going to put maybe 5% more into extra investment. That's where you invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and you're building the foundation correctly. You're not jumping ahead. You're not skipping steps. You're doing it in that order. And then after that, you get to step 10, which is where you are able to live an awesome life. Live and give freely. You're able to leave an inheritance for your children, have a great life. And so if you're at the later part of the steps, you've paid off all your debt, you're working on paying off your mortgage early, because you're going to save, for most of you, hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest payments, which you can then use to either enjoy or invest or be generous with. That's where you would start investing. So to answer your question, practically though, should you do that? Absolutely. I think it's a great idea to lock a little bit of your Bitcoin up into a long-term investment where you are tax advantaged, so you are forced to hold on to it in the long run. That's one of the reasons that I'm so confident in Bitcoin now, even more so than I was a year ago. Now, I've always been confident in Bitcoin. I was confident in Bitcoin back when it was worth $100 billion. Now it's worth $1.4 trillion. Guys, I've been an investor in Bitcoin for longer than some little children that are in elementary school have been alive. All right? It's like I walk up to a kid in a creeper hoodie. He's 11 years old, and I say, hey, you play Minecraft? He says, yeah. I said, how old are you? He says, 11. I started playing Minecraft before you were born. You say, I'm getting to that point with kids. I say, hey, how old are you? Oh, I'm 6. Yeah, I bought Bitcoin before you were even conceived, kid. Listen, I've been doing this for a little bit. All right, it's not been 30 years, but it's been almost a decade. I've been doing this for a while. I believe in Bitcoin, but I believe even more in Bitcoin as a long-term investment because of the ETFs. Should you buy some of the ETFs in a tax-advantaged retirement account? Yes. Should you buy all of it in a tax-advantaged retirement account? No, because you might want to take some profits. You might say, tripled my Bitcoin. I'm going to take some profits. I'm going to roll it over into buying a rental property. I turned $5,000 into $40,000. I bought it at 15, sold it at, quick math, $120,000, right? I think I got that right. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I did. That's correct. So whatever it is, you can say, I'm going to take some profits. That's fine. But you don't want to put all of it in a tax advantage account because you want to be able to take some of the profits because it's part of your wealth generation journey. It's not all about retirement. But yeah, I think you should put some into that. Robert P. said, Jeb, what's more important, paying off your house early or investing? I believe paying off your house early is more important than investing, but paying off your house early is the only kind of debt that I'm going to say you can be an investor while you're doing. I don't think you need to pay your house off entirely before you become an investor. Although there is a part of me that wants to go that hardcore and say that. But I think that wisdom is justified over children, which is what Jesus Christ says. And I think the wise thing to do is to pay the house off early and to prioritize that over extra investment, but to do it in this order. And this is in the later steps of the financial sovereignty way, which we're teaching. And, you know, as soon as things are calmed down and we got the baby and everything's good and healthy, we're going to be getting FinSov Academy launched, and it's going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to be in there every day with you guys. Tons of community features. We're going to be you're going to have all the course videos. We're going to be having community. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing, teachings on a regular basis with you guys. You guys are going to be able to buy it in a way that you get coaching. It's going to be great. You're going to have so much fun, and we're going to teach it in there. But the later parts of the financial sovereignty way, again, that are going to be codified in the FinSov Academy, we'll write a book on it, and we've got a lot of plans going on in the background. Right now, we're just really busy having a baby, right? That's kind of a lot of work. The later parts of the financial sovereignty way go in this order. Number 1, invest for retirement. Number 2, pay off your house early. Number 3, do more investment on top of retirement. Okay? So you can do all 3 at the same time, but that's your priority. We're focused on putting money into retirement first. Second, we're focusing on paying off the house. Third, we're focused on extra investment opportunities, such as, let's say you are planning to become a day trader. Whatever, right? I'm going to do day trading on the side. I'm going to do 20 hours a week of day trading. A better example might be I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I'm going to put money aside for a rental property. Whatever it is. That comes after we're saving for retirement, and that comes after we're working on paying off the house. Now, if you paid off the house, you skip that step, of course. But that's the order. And while you're doing those 3 things, after you get those 3 locked and loaded, and you're doing all 3 of them, that's when you have progressed to step 10, which is live and give radically and leave an awesome inheritance. That's when you get to do that, is when you are doing those 3 things. But to do those 3 things, that the golden trifecta of success financially is investing for retirement, paying off your house early, and doing extra investment on top of that. When you're doing those 3 things, the golden trifecta, when you're doing those 3 things, you have now progressed and you have completed the financial sovereignty way, and you are to live there for the rest of your life. Now, of course, at some point, you will actually pay the house off, and you will never take out debt again if you know what's good for you. But until then, that's where you are. So, great question, Robert P. Very much appreciate that question. Great question. Before you can do any of those 3 things, though, I want you to pay off all of your debt, not including your mortgage, and have a fully funded 3 to 6 month emergency fund. 3 months if you have a highly stable job where you're like, I think I'm going to get a promotion in a few months. I don't see myself getting fired or laid off. If you have a seasonal job, or you're or you have an unsteady income, or you are not very far along in the journey, and you don't have a lot of investments to cover your butt if something should happen, whatever it is, then that's where you might save 4, 5, 6 months of emergency savings. Save it in a high-yield savings account. Let's say you put $40,000 into a high-yield savings account. That money is sitting there to cover your butt in case something happens. It is not there to spend on frivolous things. It is literally there to spend on life and death. And it's not there to work for you. That being said, if you put $40,000 into a high-yield savings account generating 5%, which you can find very easily right now, that's $2,000 a year divided by 12. That's $166, $166.66 every single month that'll just be deposited into the account. You basically are getting paid more because it's in the high yield savings account. Even if there were no interest being paid on the emergency fund, you still park it there. But, luckily in our current era, you're able to make some money on it. That's not the point, but why not? You're just leaving money on the table if it's not there. All right. Let's see. Roll Hendricks said, you sound better, Jeb. Hitting that like button extra hard. Thank you. Yes, I am feeling a little bit better. Not much better, but a little bit better. Let's say your average buy-in Bitcoin is 40K and you own less than a Bitcoin. How should you take profit? What is a good schedule? So, Joris Joop Laugh. Awesome name. I think I pronounced that correctly. It's a cool name. I'm sorry. So, again, that kind of depends on where you are in the plan. If you have if you have a lot of consumer debt, then I want you to basically take the profit and put it all into that. There was a time in our life that it was very frustrating for my wife, but where pretty much every penny we brought in on top of our paycheck from the business, I was just like, it's going to debt. It's going to debt. Because we were stupid. I mean, I just made some mistakes, right? We're going to debt. Gone, out of here. It's like, why aren't we enjoying any of this money? I said, because we're in debt. It's not right. We got to clean this up. boom, boom, boom. And you know what? It got cleaned up in like 2 months. It's a short period. Didn't take long for us. It wasn't much, but it was kind of annoying for her. She's like, man, that's a $20,000 check. What the heck? Why aren't we enjoying any of that? We could go on a trip with that, right? We could go on a hell of a trip with that. And it's like, no, we need to. And she agreed. It's hard, right? Got to clean this up. So if that's where you are, no debt by the mortgage. Okay, that's very helpful. Okay, so if that's the case, then you need to allocate the Bitcoin in 2 ways. The first way is how much of the Bitcoin are you going to hold for retirement, if any? If none, then that's that. And how much of it are you just trying to basically do one big swing trade on? How much of it are you trying to say, I'm going to hold it for 18 months and sell it? If it's 25% that's going into retirement, you're going to hold it forever. Most of my Bitcoin is pretty much a forever hold. I'm probably not going to sell any of it at the top. Don't need to. They've got plenty of other income streams that can do whatever I want financially with. Right. So in my case, it's pretty much none. I don't think I'm going to sell any at the top. But for you, it might be different. Let's say you're going to sell half of it. Then that's how much we're working with. So split them up in your mind. What's going to retirement, put that potentially into a retirement account. Like we talked about earlier, you could do that. Into put it into IBIT. I guess you could sell it and then buy IBIT with it, however you want to do it. You might not want to because of the capital gains taxes, but anyway, how much you're going to take profit on, that's where you start having the question of how we're going to take profit. And what I have seen, what I think is the most beneficial and what I teach is that when Bitcoin is going up to the all-time high, once it hits a certain level, and you kind of have to decide what this level is going to be. But once it hits a certain level, you start taking profits on a weekly basis. Remember our investment plan? Every interval, we will invest X amount into Y cryptocurrency portfolio on Z exchange. That's how we invest. Well, you flip it, and then it's a divestment plan. Every interval, we will divest, take money out. We will divest X percent, not amount. You can do amount, but we typically do a percent. X percent we will divest from Y cryptocurrency portfolio on Z cryptocurrency exchange. Just flip it. Just mirror it. So a way that might look is every Friday at 2 p.m., we will divest or sell 1% of our Bitcoin, 2% of our Ethereum, 5% of our Cardano, 10% of our Avalanche, whatever it is, on Coinbase, on Robinhood, on Crypto.com, wherever. The only thing then you have to decide are 2 things. Number 1, where do you start divesting? And number 2, how much do you divest? Because you've got the rest of the plan figured out, and because you've got all the easy stuff figured out, you can focus on what matters, which is the amount you're going to divest, or the percentage, and the time. So let's take them one at a time. How do we decide what time we should start divesting? I wouldn't so much focus on your entry. As much as it's tempting to say, I'm going to start divesting when I double it. What the market cares about are levels, not about where you got in. The market does not give 2 craps if it hits your price target. The market cares about resistance. It cares about fundamentals. It cares about the all-time high previously was at $69,300. Right now we're above it. It cares about $100,000 as mass psychological resistance. It cares about those numbers. So you might say once we hit all-time high, or you might say once we've hit the Fibonacci extension. I'm just giving an example here. This might not be the level you want, but let's say we hit the Fibonacci extension on the regular price action chart. It's at 100 and it's at 97 to 104,000. Maybe at that point, maybe we split the difference and we say $80,000 because we want to start getting out a little bit early so we're able to actually take the profits. Again, on the part of the portfolio we're going to sell, not talking about the part we're going to hold for the long term, but the actual part we bought for this market. Then once we get to that trigger level, maybe it's $80,000 for Bitcoin. That would just so happen to be a double for you. But we're not pulling that number because it's a double for you. We're pulling that number because it's halfway between the all-time high and 100K, and we want to be selling before we get to 100K. You can change the train of thought, but this is just an example. Maybe we want to be selling before we hit 100K so that we're not missing the top and we're selling too late. Because the last thing you want to do, you don't want to start selling here because then your selling window is here. You want to start selling here so that your selling window is here because you're going to get a higher average cost basis for your exit. So you start selling a little bit before the all-time high. And then you just have to decide how much you're going to sell every week or every interval. I would recommend starting at 1% and then increasing it as necessary. Let's say you get to $80,000. Next week, Bitcoin jumps to $120,000. All right, maybe this week we're selling 15%. you know, but we're going to start at 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the power of consistency. And we're going to do something on a consistent basis. And that's how we're going to take our profits. Now, what do we do with the money after that? Well, then we follow the FinSolve way with the cash. We ensure that the debt. The next thing I would do is that you'd probably roll some of the money into maybe retirement accounts, max those out for the year, and then you might throw it all at the mortgage. I personally firmly believe no matter what amount of interest you have on that house, it does not make a difference. You will have more peace, which is one of the foundational building blocks of any successful business once the mortgage is paid off. I firmly believe that. 1, because your income's going to be freed up, but 2, because if you lost your income, you don't have to lose your flipping house. Now, of course, you got to pay property taxes and you got to pay home insurance, but home insurance and property taxes, I don't know where you live, but I would imagine they are probably significantly lower than your mortgage payment. Even if you got a 2.5%. People come to me, they're like, oh, but I got a 2.25%. Yeah, but it's still a couple $1,000s a month. You're still putting your money into that instead of being freed up to actually grow, right? When you're trying to build something, you first have to clean it. Okay, you don't start building a building while there's still trees on the lot. You clear the thing, at least where you need to anyway. You clear the thing, and then you build the foundation. And then upon the foundation, you build the building. All right, we got to clear cut the area that we're going to build on first. I'm not talking about all the nice, beautiful oak trees that aren't going to be in the way. I'm talking about we got to clear cut the area that we're actually going to build the building. That's what we got to do. Let's get out of debt and let's build wealth. So, Joris, that's how I would say. Maybe $80,000, maybe $90,000. Maybe now you start selling 1%. It kind of depends on, you know, how much you're willing to risk. But at some point, start selling 1% a week. This is an idea. Again, I'm not giving you financial advice. It's just an idea. Start selling maybe 1% a week. Then you can increase it as you see fit. 2%, 3%, 5%, 10%. And then, you know, set aside 30% for taxes or less. If you don't know how much you should set aside, just start with 30%. You're probably not going to have to set aside that much, but just start with setting aside 30%. The other 70%, max out your retirement accounts, put some into your mortgage, and enjoy some of it. You own less than a Bitcoin. You're going to be selling, there's like let's say there's $65,000 there, however much. You know, set aside 30% for Bitcoin, for taxes. You know, set aside, max out your retirement accounts for the year. Put some of it into your mortgage and enjoy some of it and be generous with some of it. Split it up like that. I made a video a while back, and you can go watch it. The 5 things you can do with after you sell. Number 1, unfortunately, is pay taxes. Number 2 is pay off debt. Number 3 is invest. Number 4 is enjoy it. And number 5 is be generous with it. If you want to watch the video in more detail, you can go watch it over there. But I think hopefully that will help. Queen said Tahoe paid off this month 100%. Good job, Queen. Good job. Woo! Queen, what made you choose to pay off your stuff? Was it what we were talking about, or did you learn that somewhere else? Has that been your philosophy for a while, or is that something that, you know, you've heard me talking about a lot, and you kind of decided, hey, I'm gonna just kind of go at it and pay all this stuff off? I'd love to hear what prompted you, and if it was us, what is it that we said or did that helped you to make that decision to get out of debt like that? Shadrach Frost said, folks, let's hit the like button right now. It only takes a second and truly supports this channel. Let's show Jeb some love and appreciation for all he brings to us every day. Thanks, friends. Thank you so much, Shadrach Frost. I'm very much looking forward to all of you guys joining and being in FinSolve Academy. The base plan is going to be very, very, very affordable, so I'm hoping to see all of you guys over there. We're looking at a $99 a year model, so you guys are just, I'm hoping to see like every single name I see in here. I'm hoping to see all of you in FinSolve Academy, because we're gonna have so many community features over there. There's probably going to be extra pricing tiers on top of that, but I do believe that you know, that's going to be something that you guys are all going to be able to get in on, and it's going to be really fun to see you over there. Good job, Queen. Financial sovereignty has changed my life for the better. The borrower is a slave, and I don't like that. I love it. I love it. Hard to be a queen when you're a slave, huh? Good job. Good job. What's your milk ratio, everybody? How much are you being milked every single waking minute? How much are you being milked by the banks like a little cow? You can tell I've been doing YouTube long enough. I've got that kind of confidence. I don't give a crap what anybody thinks or if they think I'm weird. I am so sick and freaking tired of you guys getting milked like a cow, shorn like a sheep, slaughtered like a pig, because you're giving all of your income, maybe not all, but how much of it? 25%, 30%, 40% of your income to somebody else in interest payments? Go look at your credit card. It's called an interest charge. Go look in there every month. How much is it? What's your interest charge? Now take it as a fraction of your income. That is your milk ratio for that card. How much of your income are you giving to Discover? How much of it is being given to those that chase you? How much of it is being given to the slave drivers of America, Bank of America? How much of your money are you giving to creditors? How long have you been scared to open the mailbox because you didn't know what was going to be in there? I'll tell you what, that was me for years. Not even just because of debt, just because, you know, my life was just a mess. I was like, I don't know, but am I going to get something from the government? I don't know. Right? I was just so freaked out because I didn't have sovereignty. I didn't have control over everything. I never checked the mail. I tell you what, people know this about me. I'll go 6 months without checking the mail. I was very unpopular at the post office because I was scared to open the mailbox. I didn't know what was going to be in there. My life was so complicated and I'm such a freaking mess. I didn't know what was going to show up. Right? And for a little while there that I thought the debt game was smart, that was part of it. I was like, oh crap, what's going to happen? And I don't know, I'm just not going to open it. Never check the mail. You know? It's real. It's because I was a slave. You know, I tried playing the debt game. It's a stupid freaking game. It's a stupid game. And so how much of your income, not you, Queen, I'm not asking you particularly, but everybody, it's a rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question. How much of your income are you getting milked from? How much of it are you giving to your mortgage company? I'd be willing to bet that the majority of people that have a mortgage in this chat are probably giving over 10% of their income to the interest payments on their mortgage. Because even if you're like, oh, I got a 4% mortgage. Yeah, but when you started that mortgage, if you're in the first few years of it, you're probably giving at least 66% of the actual principal and interest payment. Let's say it's $2,000 in interest. Go check the amortization schedule in your mortgage server, in your loan provider. Go check it. Probably over 66% of it's going to interest in the first part, at least, not 75%. You're probably paying, if you have a $2,000 mortgage and you're at a 5% rate, you're probably giving $1,500 a month in interest and $500 a month in principal. So I bought a house. I'm paying myself now. No, you're paying the bank. You are still paying somebody. So I'm not saying mortgages are evil, but I am saying get out of them and prioritize that over extra investment. Retirement, paying off the house, then extra investment. People don't like that. I'm sorry. I understand people don't like that because they want to get, actually, I'm not sorry. Who am I kidding? People want to get to the next stage quicker. I tried that. And guess what? It always bites you in the freaking butt. It always does it every single time. It always bites you. Don't do it. All right. Now, I also want to let you guys know about Uphold's Vault. I'm very excited about this product because it helps you guys to be sovereign over your wealth. You see, one of the most terrifying things in cryptocurrency is self-custody, because when you are self-custodying your cryptocurrency assets, you think you're protecting yourself from the banks, but you open yourself up to chaos. What happens, or you think you're protecting yourself from the exchanges and hackers, rather, but you're opening yourself up to the idea of losing your private keys. This is why Uphold's assisted key replacement service and technology was created, and you should definitely check it out because it's going to help keep you safe from losing a private key. Losing a private key is one of the worst things that could ever happen to you financially, because the money that was on that private key is gone for good and there is no customer service line. With Uphold's Vault, if you lose a key, Uphold has a third key that you can use to replace the one that you lost, and you can get back into your wallet and you can regenerate the whole system so it goes back to normal and you get that backup key back. You definitely want to sign up for this. There's a 30-day free trial. You got nothing to lose. If you do decide to go with it, it's only $49.99 a year. It does cost something, but guys, security is worth something. Look at all the most successful businesses in the world. How much money do they spend on insurance and how much money do they spend on security? Walk through the mall. You got a mall cop for every single store in there because people know that there's a value to not losing your value. So make sure to sign up for Vault with the link in the description box down below. You'll also be helping to support the channel and the mission of financial sovereignty. So thank you guys so very much. Shadrach said, at Queen, so awesome. I also just recently paid off my Polaris slingshot last month. Hyper focused on getting debt free. I'm so freaking happy to see that. You guys are actually doing what I'm teaching. I love it. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. None ya beeswax has been here. Says Queen has been here since we were screaming bedrock in 2021. Who remembers that? Me shouting, "We have found bedrock." That's where Queen gets that from, by the way. I remember that. I remember that day, Queen. I remember that vividly. We were going through a crash. I think it was right here. I think we were right here. Maybe it was back over here. Anyway, it was sometime in this area. And I was saying the only people that are left are the people that are part of the bedrock. When the wind and the waves come and they wipe away the beach, the only thing that remains is the bedrock. And so when you came down here, the people that stayed in this part of the market were the bedrock. I was here. Queen was here. A lot of you guys were here. But those are the true believers. Here's another way of applying the idea of bedrock. Those of us, holy cow, we got a rally going on. We need to talk about that. Those of us that are going to pay off debt even when it's hard, you're part of the bedrock because the wind and the waves come and you don't quit. Now let's take a look at this. Bitcoin is up 1% in the last 2 hours. Very exciting news. Bitcoin is approaching $70,000. Once again, we're only a few dollars away from it. We're up $745 in the last hour and a half. And a rally may be coming soon. Now, as we've been talking about, guys, we've been expecting that Bitcoin would end up going into a major rally either last week or this week. Now, it might be early on that. Maybe it doesn't happen yet. I could be wrong. But I do think that a big rally on Bitcoin is going to be coming very, very soon. We did have this big crash after we rallied up to $71,978. We dropped $3,600 in 6 hours. That was later on Friday. We began this drop right after the stream. Literally right after the stream concluded, we began this drop. We fell down here to $68,000. And from that point, we've continued to use support here at $68,898. We are currently attempting to break back up above $70,000, and I honestly think it's probably going to happen. We'll see. But the thing to remember here is that Bitcoin this entire time is just building a huge amount of visible range volume profile, VRVP support up here. We're building an absolutely enormous amount of VRVP support. Looking at the bull market so far, you can see there's not a lot of VRVP support right in this area, but there is quite a bit of it in the area that we're in right now. You see it being built right there. We have a lot more support down here in middle 2023, down around $25,000 to $31,000. That ended up being our springboard. That allowed us to go into a major rally. The fact that we're building all this support down here, in between $56,000 and $75,000, that is going to give us our next springboard to go into a major rally. So if it doesn't happen right now, that's okay. It's coming. It's coming. Queen said, bought in at 16K, bedrock still standing. There you go. Love it. Roll Hendricks said, I remember it's a turtle market back in the day. Yes. Who remembers turtle market? Smay would say that. That was Smay's thing. Shadrach Frost said, I was here. Yep. You guys have been here for a while. Grateful Head said 2017. Queen said, lol, love the daily devotions. Yep. Wisdom equals knowledge applied. Absolutely. That's right. Very excited for you guys. We're going to be absolutely exploding the channel. Guys, we've got so much stuff planned. Tune in every single day for our daily updates. I'm really excited about that series. It's going really well. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. We've got a lot of work that we're doing to help you guys succeed. So great questions today. Great questions today. Great questions today. You guys are going to succeed. Here's the part of the reason that I teach FinSov. And I'll say this, we're going to wrap out the stream. Here's part of the reason I teach FinSov. Because I learned many years ago that one of the ways that you succeed in business is you give people guarantees. You know, who remembers 30 minutes or less? It's like you say 30 minutes or less, you think Domino's, right? Who remembers, every single television commercial in the history of the world? Satisfaction, guaranteed. You know, about 3-4 years ago, I learned something in business that one of the ways you succeed in business is you find a way to guarantee something, right? Guaranteed. You know, TurboTax got in trouble for this. They said 100% accuracy, guaranteed. And basically the way that works is you find out something that you can promise. There's a logistics company. I forget which one, but there's a logistics company that says helping the world keep their promises. You see it on the back of tractor trailers all the time. The United States Postal Service, I think, also says that, helping businesses keep their promises. And so you find a promise in business. I'm very transparent. I love to tell you guys exactly how the company runs. Very transparent. I don't care. Doesn't make a difference. I'm very confident that what we're doing is correct. So I want to find a way to guarantee you something. And that plagued me for a long time. So I'm like, man, what do I guarantee? I can't guarantee anything in technical analysis. There's a 70% chance it's going to go up. Well, crap. What if it doesn't? And then people get mad at me like, oh, Jim, aha, I knew you were going to be wrong. It's like, I did tell you. People are expecting a guarantee from a company. People are expecting a guarantee from an entrepreneur. That's kind of part of the thing that you do when you go into business. And I realized, wait a minute, if I want to help people succeed with money, I got to figure out how I can guarantee something. And I guarantee you, if you follow the laws of financial sovereignty, and if you follow the financial sovereignty way, you will succeed. You will. And although you might not, a lot of people are like, oh, but Jeff, it takes longer if you pay off debt. Yes, it can. But guess what? You also don't go freaking bankrupt. Let me tell you something. You also sleep better at night, and you're more present with your family the whole time. Because you're not constantly worried, oh, I'm going to lose my house. If I lose my job, I lose my house. And then everything falls apart. No. But when you walk around with no debt, you look at these assets in your life. You say, my house. If I lost everything, I wouldn't lose that. You look at your car. Well, if I lost everything, I wouldn't lose that. Well, if I lost everything, I wouldn't lose that. It gives you security. It gives you peace. And so I guarantee you that, one, if you follow the laws of financial sovereignty, which we teach, and two, if you follow the financial sovereignty way, which we also teach, which is a guaranteed, proven path to success with money, if you follow those steps and if you follow those laws, you will succeed with money. And that gives you a kind of peace where you get to breathe easy. You start thinking, if I just do this, I'm going to be fine. That's what I'm selling you when I teach you the FinSov way. I'm not even saying selling you for money. I mean, we're going to build the FinSov Academy, and you guys are going to join. I'm making it as little cost as possible, so as many of you can join as possible. But yeah, that's what I'll be selling you when that launches. I've got no qualms with it. It's going to help you. Of course you should buy it. But what I'm selling you is not just, here's how to get rich. Although you will get fabulously wealthy if you do this for long enough. Almost guaranteed on just about any income. You make $80,000 a year, do this, you're going to be fine. You're going to be a millionaire in 10 years. Right? Multimillionaire in 15. But the guarantee I give you, more important than any other guarantee of following the financial sovereignty way, is that when you follow the steps that I'm teaching you, you get to stop worrying about whether or not the future is going to be green. As much as you can. I understand if you're worried about the world ending, or you're worried about this, you're worried about that. As much as you are able to control financially, you get to stop worrying about whether the future is going to be good or not. Because you are now the one in the driver's seat. And not only are you the one in the driver's seat, you are now competent enough, because you're following what I'm teaching you, to not drive the car off a cliff. And that is why I want you to stay tuned for the FinSov Academy. I'm building it right now. I'm just very busy right now preparing for a baby, but it's coming. Very, very, very excited to see you guys succeed. And I'm going to teach you exactly how. And I'm going to give you the peace to succeed. Jamie said, not going to lie, the drop from 20K to 3.5K was a hell of a ride, but Jeb was there the whole time, and he still is here. And he is still here. I don't leave. Once I get my teeth sunk into something, I don't give up. Like, the day that I got married, I said to my wife, actually I didn't tell her this, but I thought to myself, I thought of everything that could go wrong. Everything that could go wrong. Now my wife is just an absolute freaking saint. So let's just be clear on that. But, right, she's not perfect, but she's incredible. I thought to myself, and I had no reason to think that he was, I was like, what happens if, if she got hit by a bus? What happens if this? What happens if that? What happens if she falls off a bridge? What happens if, I went to the worst case scenario in my entire, I went to the worst case scenario in every direction that I could. What could happen after we get married? And you know what I said? I said, I would still love her no matter what. Paralyzed, prison, whatever. Now, she's not a lawbreaker. She's a very good person. I don't want to paint her in any negative way because she's incredible. But whatever she does, I'm still going to love her. Because when I signed up for this, I signed up for this for life. And it's a very similar thing with cryptocurrency. It's different because it's not marriage, of course. But when I signed up for cryptocurrency, I got started. I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life in some capacity. Might not always be my main thing, but I'm always going to be invested in crypto. I don't see that ever changing. With FinSov, teaching you guys about succeeding with that. I don't see that ever changing. That is always going to be a core part of who I am. It is a part of my identity that is unshakable at this point. And so I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be teaching you guys the exact same thing. I'm going to keep learning and growing and trying to figure out how I can succeed at teaching as many of you guys that as possible. But that's what I'm going to do. Love my wife, love my kids, love my God, love what I teach, love my life. I'm very blessed. God's been good to me, as always. I also want to let you guys know about one of today's sponsors, which is Crypto.com. If you guys have not already signed up for Crypto.com, you should, because they've got over 100 million users worldwide, and they're going to help you to succeed financially. And the way they're going to do that is by giving you an incredible exchange where you can do all of your trading and investing. You need a home base in cryptocurrency, and I'm humbly submitting to you that Crypto.com ought to be the place that you do that. If you check them out, you can set up your recurring purchases here. You can also do all of your purchases here, and you can even spend your cryptocurrency if you decide to use it as currency here. You can also get involved in the Earn program over here, make up to 5% on your Bitcoin, up to 5.5% on Ethereum. If you're a private member, it's 7 and 7.5%. So not only are you dollar cost averaging, not only is the asset going up in value, you're also gaining rewards on it. So it's like a triple threat of generating wealth in the cryptocurrency space. Make sure to sign up for Crypto.com with the link in the description box down below. Keep learning and growing. That is the key to life. That's right. And I will be here to keep learning. Thank you, Shadrach. I appreciate that. Have to tame that beast, Sharpish. Which beast? Keep learning and growing. Yeah. Excuse me. All right, guys. Like I said, we're gonna wrap it out. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. I'm very, very excited to see where you guys are going to go. So excited to see more of you guys paying off debt, more of you guys growing, investing, generating wealth. That's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to be able to succeed. Like I said, we're going to wrap it out. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.